It's time for Minutes with the Mayor, brought to you by Mercantile Bank of Quincy. Welcome back, Mayor Linda Moore. How are you?
Thank you. I've missed you.
I know. That's
good to be back.
I feel like it's been a long time, and I didn't want to say that and sound like a little weirdo, but so I'm glad that you said it because I was like, it has been a minute. Okay, so of course last week I talked to Steve Saurin, fire chief, and it's always nice to talk to him.
Yes.
He's such a fun individual, which probably doesn't come across on camera, but for the people who know him, you know that he's a very funny individual, and I love sitting down with him.
Yeah, and a very good guy.
He is. He knows what he's doing, and we talked about the Community Connect, which I know is something that you talked about last night as well, and when he was talking to me about it, immediately I was like, duh, this sounds like a no-brainer. But he did mention that some people are probably going to think that this is another way for the man to track or whatever. Can you give me some information on Community Connect and what that does for QFD?
Basically, it provides information about your household that they would need in the event of a fire or a health emergency or something else that would bring the fire department into your home.
Okay.
So it's the names of those who live there, the names of any pets, the locations of bedrooms, the locations of the fire or the water shutoff, the electric shutoff, the gas shutoff, because in the event of a fire, they need to very quickly shut those off.
Sure.
And like my house, those things are in the most inopportune corner of the basement at the opposite end of the entrance to the home. So they've got to very quickly get there and then get out and fight the fire if it should be. But you can also include things like any mobility or hearing or vision challenges, the names of the pets or anything special about the pets that, if you have a pet that's really shy and will not go to people, you can say something about, this pet is not usually one that will come to a person, will probably have to be carried out, something like that.
Yeah, you're going to have to corner it and stack it.
You can also put that, I have this person that lives in this bedroom that's located here. This person lives in this bedroom located there.
So just specifics about helping them make sure everyone is safe and out of the house, as well as specifics about how they can fight the disaster a little bit better, more efficiently.
Exactly. And there's also a place for your phone numbers, your emails. So let's say a neighbor calls in a fire at your address. On the way to the fire department can pull up your information.
Gotcha.
So they know what they're dealing with when they arrive. That can be very helpful, and that can save them valuable time, especially if it concerns life.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Having a neighbor call and say you're incapacitated, that way they'll know.
Right. Yeah. Let's say you're on vacation in Florida and, a house catches fire. They've got your phone number that they can call you to say, hey, we know you're not home. We just responded to a fire. Here's what we found. There's a little smoke damage, but all is good.
But it's not. They're not asking for your blood type or your social security number. They're not here to track you. It's more just to help with efficiency, making sure everybody stays safe, and being a little more proactive.
Right.
Right.
And it's not even information they pull up all the time.
Okay.
They will pull it up in the event of a fire.
Yeah. And you can register online, and you just did it and said it was really easy.
Super easy. I went to the city's website, quincyil.gov. Then on the governments tab, went down to the Quincy Fire Department, clicked on that. Then the fire department page opened up, and on the right-hand side, there's a link that says Community Connect.
Okay.
Click that link, and super easy.
Perfect.
60 seconds, I was out of there and all done.
Bing, bang, boom. There you go. Help them, help you.
That's right.
Very cool. And speaking of connecting, the airport. There have been some goings on at the Quincy Airport. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep. We are very excited. Of course, we did get our EAS contract with Contour Airlines. They will begin service November 1st.
November 1.
And so we will have an inaugural flight. Anybody on that flight, we're going to take a small group, go to Chicago, visit with some folks at O'Hare Airport, get a behind-the-scenes look at a few things, have lunch, come back the same day. So that'll be fun. But our public open house is November 6th.
Okay.
That's a Thursday. The flight that morning leaves at 9:50 a.m. So we will have a press conference around 8:15. We will give everybody the opportunity to see the plane, maybe even walk out and take some pictures with the plane. We'll have some light refreshments, just kind of a fun send-off and a ribbon cutting. We expect that we will have several of our national representatives here to help us celebrate that.
Cool.
And of course, Contour will be here, so we're very excited.
And if you haven't been to the Quincy Airport in a while, go. It's very fun. I don't know if everybody has nostalgia when it comes to the airport, but my grandma used to take me there. Now we take our kids there to have lunch and just to watch the planes. It's just something that maybe we take for granted a little bit if we're not using it all the time. Hopefully having Contour come and provide consistency and it'll get more people out there to utilize our airport.
Exactly. And in addition to Contour, we have other planes coming and going quite often as well. A lot of charter flights that are coming in and out of there for some of our local manufacturing firms.
Yeah, we're just really lucky to have it. So I'm hoping that more people start to utilize it. I know there was some question about the EAS funding. Is that right?
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about what you know there.
Correct. This morning, Transportation Secretary Duffy came out and said that it's very possible by Sunday some of the EAS funding will run out. And at that point, it will be up to individual carriers whether they want to continue with service. They will get reimbursed once the government opens back up.
Sure.
But in the meantime, it's up to the individual carrier. We have not heard from Southern yet. But we expect that we will hear back from them later today and know that we've got service through the end of the month.
Okay.
And then as far as Contour, we don't envision any interruption in service. They will begin November 1st and go on from there.
Okay, perfect. Well, keep us posted on Southern, of course, but we're excited to have Contour November 1st and go out and check out the open house. It's just going to be very, very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
So then you've been in office how many days?
This is day 108.
108. And we know the potholes was kind of the first promise. I do know that you've kept your promise. I don't know if it's exactly all done. Is it?
No, I can still tell you where there are a few potholes.
All right.
And of course, every day we spot a new one.
Sure. Yeah, it's never ending.
But,
the progress is there.
The progress is there.
Yes.
We are now looking at some bigger things that probably are going to take a lot more planning and strategic thinking.
Sure.
We're looking at how do we solve our housing situation. Yes. We have a housing shortage. And when I say housing shortage, I mean safe, livable, affordable housing.
Right.
At all income levels.
Sure.
Not just at the lower levels. So how do we solve that? And what partners can we bring to the table to help us so that it's not all taxpayer dollars funding some of these things.
Sure.
So we're looking at alternatives, what I call other people's money, which I love. Anytime we can get investment in the community without using taxpayer dollars, it's a good thing.
Yes.
So we're looking at alternatives. We're exploring every single option. We're turning over every single rock to find out, okay, here's what our options are. Now, which one best meets our needs?
Okay.
So we're looking at that. Housing will be a big one. And of course, then we are continuing to explore a sports complex, what that would mean for our community, what it would look like, how we could fund it with the least amount or no taxpayer dollars, where it might go, what it might include. So that will be a number of big discussions over the next probably 100 days plus. And then, of course, tax levy time is coming up the end of this calendar year. So we're starting to talk about that and see what that would look like. We know our pension funding is going up. Even just to keep pace, we anticipated that it would double from 2 or 3 years ago. So we're looking at that, looking at alternative ways to fund the pension payments so that, again, it doesn't have to come from taxpayers' pockets.
And let's pause there real quick because pensions, I think people get confused that is a Quincy decision, that is a mayor and the city council decision. Do not come at Quincy City Council or our mayor for that. That is a state of Illinois directive that we have to abide by, right?
Correct.
I wanted to say that because every time the word pension is said, someone has to argue about why we should or shouldn't be doing that.
Yes.
So, okay.
And it's public safety pensions. the state of Illinois consolidated all of the pension funds around the state several years ago. We are now finally starting to see some returns of that consolidation, which for a few years we didn't.
Right.
So my feeling is we're behind, because had we been able to keep it locally, we'd be ahead of where we are.
Right.
But we are starting to see that return, which we knew would come eventually. For a lot of the smaller pension funds around the state, this has been wonderful.
Okay.
We were a fairly large pension fund anyway, so we haven't seen as many of the benefits, but theoretically the consolidation was a good thing.
Okay.
For us individually, I never thought it made sense, because we were ahead of the game, and we had local institutions, our banks and wealth firms, that worked with us and gave us maximizing returns.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of stuff on the docket for the next 100 days. Also, I know I talked to David Adam the other day. He was talking about the trees, which doesn't seem like a big project, but man, when you start getting into the intricacies of what it takes and how many bids and what kind of trees and where they can be and how it affects your infrastructure, it's a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and we have, we'll be awarding a bid this week to take down 83 bad trees.
Okay.
Either ash trees that are infected by the emerald ash borer, or some other trees that we know are diseased and need to come down.
Okay.
We probably have another 80-some trees that need to come down, so we'll be bidding that out soon.
Okay.
We'd love to get all the diseased trees down in the next 90 days.
Okay.
Will that happen? I don't know. We're going to shoot for it, shoot for the moon and
Absolutely.
see how close you can come.
Yeah.
So we'll get that done. But then we also hope to have a tree planting program, a fall tree planting program like we normally have. This year we found an alternative vendor that can give us some better pricing.
Okay.
So hopefully we're going to have more trees available this year than we've had in the past. And our campaign is more right tree, right location than just, hey, plant a tree.
Right. Yeah.
Because there are certain right-of-ways that are more narrow, so you need a more columnar tree, something that won't grow 6 feet around like a big old oak tree that we all love. But those oak trees with their deep roots cause a lot of problems for the infrastructure.
Right.
And then we end up paying more to replace the infrastructure, and we end up having to get rid of the tree anyway, because we had to break off the roots when we dug up the pipes that they cracked.
None of which people think about when you look at a tree when you're driving down, let's say, beautiful Main Street, but it's all it all has to be taken into consideration. And then, of course, all while keeping the public informed. You're increasing communication efforts, transparency, and then you're also doing something which I think is really cool, and that's recognizing youth in our community. I know Jakai, he's one of my favorite kiddos. He goes to school with my daughter. He's always been very proactive, very involved, and I love to see that you recognized him. And then last night, you recognized another outstanding individual, Ryder Dixon. Tell me a little bit about him.
Yes. So Ryder is 9 years old, and he had a family member who had a medical emergency. He called his mom, said, "Mom, what do I do?" And his mom said, "Call 911." So he did, gave the dispatcher all the details, went out then on the front porch and waited for the fire department to arrive and the police department to arrive. And then he escorted them in so that they could get right to the injured person. And if he hadn't done what he did, who knows, that family member may not have made it.
Right.
So very proud of him. And, it just goes to show you it's not your age that matters.
Right.
It's just doing the right thing and knowing what to do
Right.
in those situations. But what a great young man.
Right.
And a super good example
All at
of what
9
we want
years
our
old,
our
which
young
is
kids to be.
It's just incredible, and I think it is important to spotlight those kiddos because, when you get recognized for something, it kind of begets the next positive action, right? And I think maybe some adults can use that as well because we do have some work to do in our community, but I have no doubt that you and all of the committees within our community are going to be working towards the next big thing, and I know there are plenty of them. Your next 100 days are going to be chock full. I can't wait to hear specifics on everything from housing to sports complex to everything else that is no doubt going to come your way. I love sitting down and talking with you. It's always a pleasure.
We have a lot of good things coming too. We're working on a citywide notification program for emergencies, whether it's a boil order or a street closure.
Genius.
Or fire on this street, avoid the intersection.
Yep.
You know, just ways to get the word out through instant messaging.
Okay.
So we are working on that. We're down to just a couple of alternatives and figuring out which way we want to go. Then we're working on an interactive program on the website where you could report a problem, whether it's a broken, cracked sidewalk, or maybe it's a pothole, or maybe it's a nuisance of, in a neighbor's yard. You can report it. Everybody within the city can see it. The appropriate party can then address it, and you can go back and check to see, hey, have they done anything yet? Because a lot of times people will call and report something, and then they don't hear back.
Sure.
As to whether or not it's been taken care of, or maybe why they haven't gotten to it yet. So this program will be interactive and allow you to follow it through.
Close the loop.
Close the loop.
I love it. I love it. It just goes to the progress we were talking about, which is it's a necessary thing. We just continually move forward, and hopefully everybody moves with and not against, because that's how real change gets made.
That's right.
Not saying that you have to agree with everything, but at least get engaged, right?
Exactly. And stop the hate speech.
Stop the hate. There is no place for it here in Quincy.
That's
we got better things to do.
That's right.
Right?
Show the love.
That's right. Show the love. Love it. All right. Mary Linda Moore, thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Mercantile Bank, for sponsoring this, bringing this to all of our viewers, listeners, and us. We get the pleasure of sitting down every week. Thank you. Look forward to it next week.
Thank you.
See
you next week.
All right. See ya.